Hello, I'm Jacob. This is the Prepper's Bunker Outdoors. I'm here today with my youngest sister, Summer. And today we went out to have some fun and do some bushcraft. Now, I know in videos, a lot of people watch videos like this to see if it's secretly not hardcore or if we're trying to make it look hardcore. So just for those kind of people, this was not a hardcore trip. I took a chainsaw out here to get a lot of this firewood because the goal of today was to have fun. We have some wood projects that we worked on with Summer. I tried to do a Kuska. She's working on a wooden heart. And so we had a really good time. I want to share that with you guys. Real quick before we get started, this channel is fully funded through sales at my website, beachandtactical.com, where I make tactical and survival gear like baldric slings, rifle slings, bottle carriers, sear pouches, stuff like that. I have an Amazon store where I only list items that I've used and reviewed, and most of them I currently own and completely stand behind. And then I do have a Patreon where you can support the channel directly. So the first thing that we're going to do today is I'm going to show you what all we brought. We'll start with what Summer brought. This is Mariah's Swedish little adventure jacket, and she's wearing a Nordsmith lapwing knife. Why don't you pull that out, Summer? Phenomenal little tool. All right. The pack that I carried out is the Hidden Woodsman Deep Woods Ruck in BDU. I love it. Summer used a military modular sleep system and a Climate V2 pad. I used the Snug Pack jungle bag, Stanley cook pot, little Cabela's lantern. Then over here we have a from the Hidden Woodsman, we have his survival kit bag. Check out that tactical pterodactyl patch. If that ain't the coolest patch I've ever seen, I don't know what is. We've got a little Smith & Wesson 317 kit gun in there with Hogue grips, fishing kit, repair kit from Exotac, lighter, and I kept all my paracord in here, and extra 22 ammo. In the Possibles pouch, we had some butt wipe and a headlamp and a couple pairs of gloves for Summer. Then the tools, that's a Silky Saw Gomboy. I don't remember the brand of this. It's on Amazon, this hook knife. I gotta figure that thing out, as you guys will see later. I'm having a hard time with it. Council Tool Camp Carver, 2 thumbs up. This was a 3-tool option trip when it came, well, I guess it's a 4-tool, but basically a lot of my work last night was done with the Kislyar Supreme Survivalist Z. I really abused this thing last night. I wish I could have gotten more footage of it, but I'll be doing a review on that very shortly, a full review. And then my carving knife was this custom made for me by my buddy Jose Amuido from season 2 of Alone. I've been wearing it this whole time. And then of course we've got a water bottle with a Beach and Tactical sear pouch, water bottle holder, and doggone baldric sling. So now that you know what we've brought, oh yeah, and then we have this mini lantern and this giant AquaQuest tarp. We're in the process of taking it down, which is why it looks like crap, especially right now. But now that you've seen all of that, let me show you a little bit of what we did last night and this morning, and then get straight into our woodcraft projects with me making a Kuska, or working on a Kuska, and Summer working on a heart. So stay tuned. Our goal was to get out while there was still light out, get the tarp up, the firewood gathered, and the fire started, and to get our project started before the sun went down. Clearly, that did not happen. And although we got some little lanterns up and stuff like that, it really didn't help for filming. We didn't have nearly enough light to really show you all the things that we did that night. As you can see here, we were gathering some firewood. We actually ended up making an upside down fire, but you can see in these pictures just how quickly it got dark. I was splitting a lot of wood, or batoning a lot of wood, with my Kisljar Survivalist Z, and I'm really bummed that this footage didn't work out, even though we had lights out. This knife has gone through so much. I'll be doing a review soon, but sadly, I don't have this footage to include. Alright, you're just going to hold them, and once the fire's going, I want you to drop them in, okay?
Yes.
Let me just interject here really quick that the Exotac ferro rods are just phenomenal. I love using this ferro rod. This is not so good for the night vision, is it? This. Yes. Alright. Come on. Oh. Feather sticks got stuck on each other. Jimbo, get down. After batoning quite a bit of wood with the Survivalist Z and doing those feather sticks, we did some tent stakes, and the Kisljar was still sharp. It was taking stuff off really well. It's AUS 8 or AUS 8 steel. It doesn't have the best reputation for edge holding or for toughness or really for anything, but it does so good on this knife. I was really impressed. Later in the night, I'd end up actually digging roots out with this knife while I was sleeping on top of them with no damage. While I was making these tent stakes, of course, I also wanted to show Summer how to make some of her own, and she worked on some, and she really enjoyed using that Northsmith lapwing, which is ABL stainless, super tough, super easy to sharpen.
You sound like a little girl.
Marlon, last night was just a little bit rough. Summer, I think, slept well, though. She had a nice setup. Time to get to work.
For breakfast, I went and I got this little skillet and some eggs out of the coop, and I thought we'd start the day off right. I actually got this skillet at like a little flea market for like $1.50. It's really old, but it's seasoned really well. The farm fresh chicken eggs really do make a big difference. Like if I'm eating eggs, I typically will do salt and pepper, and with the farm fresh eggs, I hardly need to. It was my first time, I think, cooking eggs on a skillet over a fire. I would say I have a bit to learn, but next time it will probably go a little more smoothly.
Heat on one side, bruh. No.
Almost ready. You want to grab your spoon? Your fork? As soon as we were done getting our fill, we got straight to work, and I gotta tell you, it was awfully nice to start off a day of camping after a nice meal instead of starting the day looking for a meal. The first thing that I wanted to do was to get Summer's heart roughed out so that she could actually get straight to carving. I didn't want to take all the excess off because I want her to be able to do a bit, but this was the first time in a while I'd used the camp carver, and I was quickly realizing why I love this tool so much. You can get a lot of precision and power. It's just so good. You may remember that from the factory I got actually a little bit thicker edge, and so I sent it back to them once they had the final design down, and they thinned the edge down to what they do for production axes, and it's just even better. This thing is incredible. As soon as I got done with her heart, I had to start getting to work on some of my own project. On the contrary, I love the Silky Saw for bushcraft, but for the larger task of sawing through something thicker, it was a bear. Really, I could certainly use a larger saw for something like this, and it kind of only got worse. You may not know this, but there are two types of saws: crosscut saws and ripping saws. Crosscut saw is meant to cut across the grain like I'm doing here. A ripping saw is meant to cut with the grain, and using either saw for anything other than its intended purpose obviously is at the best less than efficient. So this would be ripping. I'm trying to cut with the grain for the handle of the kuksa, and it wasn't good. It worked for what I did, but it was far less than ideal. I don't know if Silky makes a ripping tooth saw, but if they do, I'll probably pick one up just for projects like this. But for now, I made do. I was doing so much filming and running around and working myself that I didn't get a lot of Summer's heart shaping. She did a really good job, and at this point her hands are already getting pretty tired. She's not used to it, but she did the edges so nice.
So basically we started with a round piece of cedar, and I just trimmed down the edges, and then after I was done trimming down the edges along the Sharpie line that we drew, we started rounding them. It's obviously not done yet, but it's in the process of rounding it, and I'm also going to round out the back.
What do you think about the knife you used, that little lapwing?
It was pretty nice. I liked that it was small and I could control it easily.
Yeah, it's a nice little knife. This is the beginning of my Kuska. I don't know if you're supposed to make a Kuska out of cedar, but that's what I'm doing anyways. I do not have time to finish it today. I was really hoping to get it all carved out, but that's just not gonna happen. So we'll do that later down the line. This is my first ever Kuska. That axe was just phenomenal. It made work so much easier. I should have actually used the axe more than I did, but I expect that this Kuska will probably end up cracking and not be very useful and might just end up being a decorative piece, but that's kind of how learning goes. I'll be lucky if my first 3 or 5 Kuskas are worth a dang, right? So we'll see how it goes, but it was a lot of fun making, and the amount of respect that I have for the Council Tool Camp Carver, how phenomenal that was to use, and this custom knife by my buddy Jose, it was a game changer for me. I mean, just really, really incredible. So this was Summer's first camping trip under a tarp. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Slept pretty good. It was a little bit chilly, a little bit rainy, but yeah, this was a really good time. I had a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll get Summer and her sisters out here more often. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments.